Hi guys, this is my first YouTube video and I'm starting a series where I'm going to try to get to 1,000 ELO on chess.com by the end of the summer. I played some games already and I'm going to go through them with you. Hi guys, this is the first game I'm going to show you, and I think this is the first game that I played with my official rating. So let's just begin. So I'm starting with the London, and this is just pretty standard. So I'm trying to take control of the centre, and I think I have central dominance here as my bishop is controlling this square and 3 of my pieces are controlling this square. And my plan was to push this pawn or move the knight here. And then he moves the bishop to attack my bishop. If I decided to trade, that wouldn't be very good because his pawn would take, and so that pawn would control these 2 squares, and that wouldn't be good for my position. And if I left my bishop here, he could have taken, my pawn would have had to take, and my center would have been open. So I decided to move my bishop back, and so if he decides to trade, my pawn could take, and my rook has a semi-open file, which could be later used for an attack. And he decides to trade, so I take my pawn, and now my rook has this strong file. And he decides to castle. I think this was a mistake because now I have 2 pieces targeting the square, and this pawn is only defended by the king. I move my knight into the center because I'm trying to set up an attack. He takes. I think that's a mistake because I take, I made a mistake before. The only other piece defending this pawn apart from the king is this knight, but because this pawn is attacking this knight, it has to move, and then if it moves, I can take the bishop or the rook. I could take this pawn. But I think the opponent missed that I could take this knight, and so he just blunders it. So I take the knight. I think this move is a mistake because it opens up his king completely. I think he should have taken with the queen, as that queen could have helped defend any attacks I was going to pose to him. Sorry. Yes, so he takes. I give him a check, and he only has 1 move, and it's forced checkmate. This is the second game I'm going to show you. I think I'm a little bit higher rating than I was before, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's just get started. So he decides to go with e4. It's pretty standard. I'm trying the Sicilian, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So this is pretty standard. And when he moves here, his bishop and knight are trying to target this pawn here. And if he takes with a knight, he can fork my rook and my queen. So I defend it by pushing the pawn, and then he moves his queen, which is threatening checkmate because it's also attacking this pawn, and if he takes it, it's checkmate. So I move my knight to defend by blocking the queen side of the pawn. I think this is a time waster move, or he was trying to move his bishop here so we can compete for this long diagonal, from when my bishop comes here. I push my knight here because I'm trying to fork this queen and a future king and rook fork. He moves his queen there, and so I'm assuming that when I castle, he's going to try launch an attack on this pawn. However, I think he should have moved. I think he should have moved back because now I can fork his king and knight. I mean his knight and rook. So that's what I do. He has to move his king, and I take the rook. And now my knight's lost, but it's worth it because the rook's worth more than a knight. And so now I move my bishop here to like compete for the diagonal. He takes my knight, and I castle. And now the only thing, he has like quite a large attack on this pawn, but luckily I have my knight here. I think this is a mistake because this now allows this bishop to come into the attack, because now the knight and bishop are both attacking this pawn. Like, I know my bishop's attacking the queen, but he can just move it and the attack will still be there. So he takes the bishop, no, he takes the pawn, and that gives me check. So I have to move my king or take it. And I can't really, I mean, I can, but it's tough for me to take with the rook, because then I lose a rook. Yeah. So I have to take with the rook. And then, I think that was also a mistake taking with the rook. I think I should just move my king. And then, so I take, that's a blunder. I think, if it wasn't for this blunder, I think he would have won the game, because his attack's much stronger. But because of this blunder, I just now take his queen. He takes back. I move my rook back. So luckily he didn't take my rook. He tries to launch another attack, I think. But I don't think he has just like the resources to. So I push my queen. Now the knight's being attacked. He moves it back, but I didn't think he should have, because that knight's quite dangerous for my position. Like, it's quite a nuisance. It attacks this square, this square, this square, and the knight's defended by the rook anyway. So he moves back though. That means I could take the pawn, which was originally defended by this knight when it was here, and he moves the knight. I think he's trying to, yeah, he was probably trying to attack this pawn, or attack my rook. I just pushed the pawn. That was a mistake. I think I should have moved my rook here. See, he took it. Now I move my rook there. He takes the other pawn. Yes, I'm attacking. I'm basically launching a full-on attack, because now this knight is being attacked by the queen and rook. He tries to attack my queen. I move it back. That's my only safe square, otherwise my queen would be trapped. He pushes a pawn trying to trap my queen. I take the bishop, because he now can't take with his knight, because the knight is pinned. He pushes a pawn. I take with the knight. He takes with the rook. And my queen takes. And now it's just checkmate. I think that was a pretty good game. But I could have done a lot better. This is the third game I'm going to show you. So I was going to go for London at first. But then he played King's Pawn. Which is just a blunder. There's nothing much to say about that. And now he pushes his queen's pawn. I take using en passant. So I just move my knight, trying to take control of the centre now. He pushes the pawn. He doesn't really have much control of the centre, like before, in this position, but now he's trying to take control of it, I think. Push my knight because I want to try to take this pawn. I personally would have pushed the pawn, which would have made my knight have to move. But that's a pretty good move also. But now I could take the pawn now. I did that. I'm not sure why I did that. I think that was a mistake. I thought when I played the match that if I move the knight again anywhere, my opponent would take my queen, and when I take my king, I couldn't castle. I'm not sure. So I moved here, e4, and he advances his knight. I attack his knight, and now, yeah, so he attacks my knight. I take his knight, he takes my knight. But I think it's better for me because now yeah, see, now I can give a check, and that means he has to move his king, because if he blocks with the bishop or the knight, I just take using the pawn. And then he moves his king, and now I check him again while also attacking his pawn. I think he should have moved his king backwards, because you don't want your king in the center, like early in the opening. He takes my pawn. I give him another check. He moves back. I castle. And if I move my bishop now, like, I'm just winning because my rook's going to be in the center. He has no way to make his king escape. I think that's just a blunder, because there's nothing, even though his bishop's attacking my bishop, nothing's defending my opponent's bishop. But I just check him because I thought it to be better, but now I see I should have taken his bishop. Now I take his bishop, okay. And I move my knight so my queen can move here and it'd be checkmate. He pushes his pawn. I mean, it's going to be checkmate anyway, but now it's definitely checkmate. And it's checkmate. This is the fourth game I'm going to be showing you guys. So I started in London again. Then he moves his knight forward to attack my pawn. This means I can't move my bishop straight out. So I pushed my c pawn, but I think I should have moved my knight here, because it also targets this square, and pushing the c pawn, I think it's kind of a waste, because moving my knight would also develop more pieces. So I push my pawn there. He attacks my pawn. I just pushed the pawn forward to attack his knight. I'm not sure if that was the right move, but I think he could have moved here. I'm not sure, or moved here, because now he's just moved his knight 2 moves for nothing. So I push my pawn, and this means I control lots of these squares. Yeah, so he attacks this pawn. I defend using the f pawn. I thought about moving here, but I didn't want to block my bishop. So yeah, I just moved my bishop to develop it. I'm not sure what was that shuffle for. I think it was just a waste of moves. I'm not sure. I'll move my knight here to help target these two squares, as this pawn is also attacking them. Yes, I castle. He castles. I move my pawn here. My plan was to open everything up so my rook and my knight and bishop and queen can all go out and try and attack his king. But I didn't see that his knight was targeting this pawn. I should move my bishop here first. So I blundered a pawn. I take his pawn. I move my knight here, just like trying to push his knight out. I move my knight to g3 so I could like attack using my queen other knight. Yes, I moved my queen, so I think you see where the checkmate is going. He tries to attack my queen, but I move it back. I think I should have moved my queen back here. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I push his knight out, and I move my knight here so I can target this square. I think this was a mistake, or like this move has no use because now it allows me to move my queen here. This knight, like when it was here, I couldn't push my queen because the knight was attacking this square. So because he moved there, I pushed my queen. He moves it back, trying to attack my queen. But it's checkmate, obviously. I think my opponent should have put his bishop here, or push the pawn. I think the bishop's better option. So he moves there, and I just win by checkmate. This is the 5th game I'm going to show you, and the final one. Instead of the London, I actually played King's Pawn. So e4, e5 is 3 standard. I'm not sure why I played f3. I should have just gone knight f3, not pawn f3. So he develops his knight, which is good. I develop my bishop, and he pushes his pawn. I take with the bishop, but I think that was a mistake. I think I should have taken with the pawn, because now if he trades, like in most scenarios, a bishop is worth more than a knight. So he trades. I take with the pawn. He takes the queen, and now I have no control over the center. So I just try to kick his queen out. He moves forward, which is even more frustrating. Try to kick his queen out again, and he checks me. And I think this is the big weakness with pushing this pawn forward, because this pawn is only defended by the king. So yeah, that was a big mistake, and so I blocked with the knight. Then he developed my bishop. I pushed my pawn. Yeah, I could tell that he's preparing for like a big attack. I moved my rook there. I'm not sure why I did that. I think it's because just to defend the position more. But I think it actually trapped my king, even more. So my opponent's trying to attack my pawn. I blunder that I didn't see that my opponent could capture it. So I tried to move my knight here so I could fork his king and rook. Yes, so he takes my pawn. I fork him. And I take his rook. But I didn't see also then that he could take my knight. So that was a blunder. I didn't block with the rook because his bishop was also attacking that square, and then that would have been checkmate. So I moved my king forward. He takes a check again. I move it back. He checks me, I block with the pawn. He's back. I push the pawn. I think that was a mistake, because now if his pawn takes, I take back, and because his pawn's no longer here, this bishop can move here and check me. And that's exactly what happened. So he checks me. I block with the bishop, but I forgot the rook can come here. So he checks me again. I have to block with the queen. That's my only option. He takes, and I'm pretty much done for. I just ran away. But yeah, I absolutely got cooked. Checkmate. Thank you guys for watching, and please like and subscribe.